Shalom, shalom. Mishpachah, Kadashim, set apart in Kadesh, select few, elect saints, chosen few, chosen ones. It is yours truly and sincerely, Emmanuel Matif Yahu. Emmanuel Matif Yahu. And I'd like to say Arak Yom and Gadol Shalom. Gadol Shalom Shalom to you all. To the Mishpacha that is keeping the Abib and the first fruits, may all of the first fruits of your crops be fruitful, delightful, be prosperous, be positive, be powerful in your lives, in your kai, in your high, han, khan, right. So, Mishpachah, meaning family. Hopefully you all have been keeping track of the straight line shadow that will be commenced in the air at the finger, outstretched arms, mighty strong hands of Yahuwah, Elul, Yahushua HaMashiach. Barak Shabuah to all of you on the week as it's coming to a close here shortly, and happy new month, happy new year, our new year at least. Not the ways of the heathen or the pagans. You know what I'm talking about? Know what I mean? So, but yes, Rosh Kadash to all the set apart ones. Truly and sincerely, truly indeed. So, in this study lesson, in this study session today, on this Yom, that Yahuwah, Elul, Yahushua HaMashiach has brought to pass and brought to fruition, that we are to rejoice and be glad in. It'll be on flat earth. Flat earth. The earth is flat, and we will be expounding upon that. Ruach HaKadosh led, set apart in Kadosh as it is, moving in me, dwelling in me, in my system. And got 3 witnesses right here. We will go over, go to the Old Testament, go to the Tanakh, to the Torah, Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 1, verse 6 through 9, and also 14 through 18. Then we'll skip and hop and jump on over to Job, Iyab, chapter 38, verses 4 through 14, and then 2nd Kapha, that is 2nd Peter, chapter 3, verse 5 through 6. Right. So, without further ado, let us get started here. Got here my scriptures. Get it pulled up. Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 1. Indeed. Chapter 1. Yes, let's get that pulled up in the witness too. Beautiful. Let's get that in there. Let's read that. Let's take a bite out of this bread of life here. And Elohim said, let an expanse come to be in the midst of the waters. Bookmark that. And Elohim made the expanse and separated the waters. Shulaki. And Elohim said, let an expanse come to be in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. And Elohim made the expanse and separated the waters which were under the expanse. Expanse meaning firmament, as it is interpreted, from the waters which were above the expanse, and it came to be so. And Elohim called the expanse heavens. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the second day. And Elohim said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it came to be so. Let's get that witness before we get to breaking it down, Barney style. And Yahuwah said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So you got the rivers, the lakes, the streams, and the oceans. And you have rainwater. And he separated the two. He separated the two from each other. He also separated each body of water to do each one their own bidding for him. The lakes do what the lakes do. The lakes be laking, the rivers be rivering, if that's even a word. Right? The streams be streaming, the oceans be oceaning, and that is that. He put it in place. Like, how else can water sit if the earth was not flat? If the earth was round, all the water would drop off. All the water would fall off, would drip off, however you want to word it, say it, or put it. However you want to translate it. Right? And Yahuwah made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament. So you got earth that's like this rectangle. This huge rectangle or this huge square. And it's grand and it's big and it's large. Right? And it has the splendor, the grandeur and the allure. The touch that Yahuwah put on it. The beauty, Yafa. The beautification that he put on it. The personification that he put on it. To identify it being the Arats. It being earth. So with the earth being flat like that in a rectangular form, square shape, square prism, or rectangular prism, that's why there's four corners of the earth, like he said. Boom, boom, boom. And over the top of that earth, the Arats that we stay on and reside and live on, and we breathe our oxygen in and out, there's this round firmament. The firmament is round. And that's what gets twisted and misconceptualized and misconstrued. That is how confusion gets mixed up in there with the spinning and the plot twisting of his word. Okay? Where were we? And Yahuwah made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. So above the firmament, he can make it what? Rain. He can make it rain. He can make it sleet, snow. He can make it hail from above the firmament. And when it comes down from above the firmament, where does it go? right on the top of this earth. And everybody can see it coming down, streaming down like a river, like a lake, like the seas, like the ocean. Right down, straight on to the ground where we stay. That is how you know that the earth is flat. Flat earth. And Yahuwah called the firmament heaven. Just like the time he left the ground before Miriam, and the apostles, the disciples, they watched him leave the earth and go all the way up into the sky, into the air, above the clouds, and up top of the firmament he went. Above and beyond. Straight back to the throne where he sits. And Yahuwah called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And Yahuwah said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together. Unto one place. Now, when we read these scriptures and we hear about the Red Sea, and we hear about all these bodies of water, the Sea of Galilee, he made each one for its particular cause, for its particular purpose, for its particular reason for being there. He had a strategic, tactical, and technical approach when he made the waters on this rise. And then he turned right around and he walked on it. Get that. Get that through our everlasting minds, right? Right. Because, look, let the waters under heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. So, if you go to a park, if you go to a resort, or any of these places that have big bodies of water, you got land here on the right or your left, and then you got water here to your right or your left. And then you got land over here to your left or your right, and land over there to your right or your left. And what do you think the water itself is sitting on? Just like these trees sit upon them roots, and it's grounded in the dirt, grounded in the dust, grounded in the soil, grounded into the grass, the waters are sitting upon dry land. And if he were to split those waters like he had Masha do, you will see at the bottom that right there below it is dry land. Case in point, the earth is flat. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That is some facts. That is facts of life. Big old facts at that. Now, let's go over to verses 14 to 18 now. Where's mine? And Elohim said, let lights come to be in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night. And let them be for signs and appointed times and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth. And it came to be so. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And Elohim set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was great. And it came to be evening, and it came to be morning, the fourth day, or Yom. Let's get the witness over here. And this are the first 4 days of creation that he's done this in. Mind you. Okay? Because I know, and I get it, that some of you know this already, but then there's those of you who doesn't know this as of yet. So I have to carry this duty and obligation and task out and accomplish and achieve this mission for the Most High Abba, Yahuwah, Yahushua HaMashiach. Right. The fourth day, look at that. And Yahuwah said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. Let there be lights. And that light is the sun and the moon, ladies and gentlemen. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Look at that. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Like we got sunlight, daylight out there right now, because the sun brings the light of day. The moon brings the light of night. Get it? Got it? We straight? Right. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Yahuwah made 2 great lights, 2 of them. The greater light to rule the day, sunlight. And the lesser light to rule the night, moonlight, moon. And he made the stars also. And Yahuwah set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. That's inside the firmament. It surely is. That's why when everybody look up, they can see stars sitting up in the sky when they come out. They can see them clouds. They can see the moon sitting out. And each one has its time. Stars and moon get brought out at the night. Sun gets brought out during the day. During the high noon. During the evenings. Right? Right. And Yahuwah set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth and to rule over the day and over the night and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yahuwah saw that it was great. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Let's see. Move that out the way. Let me pull up Job now. Make sure I don't lose nobody. Y'all keep track. Those of you watching out there. Rewind it. Play it back. However you need to. Let's see if I can find Job here. There we are. Job chapter 38. Let's see that right there. 4 through 14. Yes. That pulled up. Yeah, Esther, we don't need Esther. But we do need Job. There it is. There's a job right there. Let's get to reading on that. It is changed like clay under a seal, and they stand out like a garment, and their light is withheld from the wrong, and the arm lifted up is broken. Have you, Shalaki, I started too far back. Let's move up some. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Look at that. Laying the foundations of the earth. He didn't say rounding the foundations of the earth. He didn't say circling the foundations of the earth. He says, where were you when he laid the foundation? Laid. So if he didn't lay the foundation of the earth, the Arats, we can't drive from point A to point B and C. We can't fly in an airplane from point A to point B to point C. We can't ride on a train from point A to point B to point C if the earth wasn't laid flat. The earth is flat. We have a flat earth. People, children, ladies, gentlemen, sons and daughters alike, brothers, sisters, Akis, Akuts, we have ourselves a flat earth. Thanks in part to our Maker and Creator, the Most High Yahuwah, Yahushua HaMashiach. Declare if you have understanding. Who set its measurements if you know? Look at that. No one knows how far and wide or what the cubits are of the foundations of the earth, of the foundation of the Arats. Just like you don't know the number of hairs on your head, and you don't know the number of sand particles on that beach that you walked on. But you and me both know who does, though. Yahuwah, Yahushua HaMashiach. That's who. It says, or who stretched the line upon it? Y'all remember that chapter where they was gonna stone that adulterous woman? And Yahushua was just over there drawing a line in the sand for those that was getting ready to ground her and punish her and stone her. Or who stretched the line upon it? He's like, yeah, you who is without sin, cast the first stone. Anyway, before I get off of topic, off subject, upon what is foundations sunk, or who laid his cornerstones? How else can a stone or a rock or a mountain sit straight up like it does if the earth wasn't flat? How else can these temples and buildings and booths and shelters and huts and hotels and motels and houses and homes and townhouses and condos and barndominiums can sit straight up if the earth wasn't flat? I tell you truly and truthfully speaking, that is it. It is flat. He doesn't outright say it verbatim, but the way he explained it and described it, common sense to tell us, hey, the earth is flat. When you go down and you bend down to the ground to pick that flower up, you had to pick it up from it being flat on the ground. Just like flat on the surface. If I drop this pen and it dropped and hit this floor, I pick it up off a flat surface. Right? You go over there to the park and you see all the little merry-go-rounds and you see all the little seesaws. And you see all the little firefighter poles standing up in the ground, and the big swing bars, the monkey bars, the jungle gym at the parks. It's sitting on what? Flat, solid ground. The foundation of the earth is flat. The earth is flat. Look at this. When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of Elohim shouted for joy, or who enclosed the sea with doors when it burst forth and came from the womb? Even when you a baby, unborn, and you just a developing infant in your mother's womb, and you're being built and developed and grown from that seed, the fruit of the womb and that seed, guess what? There is water, a body of water surrounding that whole placenta, urethra, uterus, the whole birth canal, the whole egg, the whole womb is filled and enclosed with water. We're like in a sea in the womb. No doors but the birth canal. Huh? Yeah. And when you come down that womb, that birth canal, just like how he says, the morning sings together, and all the sounds of the sons of Elohim shout for joy. That woman shouts with pain. That woman shouts with hurt and agony and grief and sorrow. But after the birth pains, when that sea in her womb burst and her water break and everything coming tumbling down into labor, and she goes to push out all them doors because the birth canal getting primed up and ready to give birth, she don't even remember that part. Well, once the baby is out, the rejoice sets in. And from the time that woman was pregnant, them 9 months, until the time she goes to the delivery room or the ER or wherever she gave birth at, or at home with a midwife, guess where she delivered that child at? On a flat surface, flat ground, flat foundation, on a flat earth. Yeah. Because if the earth wasn't flat, there's no way we could stand upright. There's no way we can lay horizontal. There's no way we could stand vertically if it wasn't a flat earth. When I made the clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddling band, and a sign for it, my law, and set bars and doors, and said, this far you have come, but no farther, and here your proud waves stop. Have you ever commanded the morning, and caused the dawn to know its place, to take hold of the corners of the earth, and the wrong be shaken of it? It is changed like clay under a seal, and they stand out like a garment. Look at that. And their light is withheld from the wrong, and the arm lifted up is broken. Have you come to the sources of the sea, or have you walked about in the recesses of the deep? Look at that. Where's his witness? Pull up this witness right here. And this is Yahuwah giving a sample size to Job. He leading by example when he spoke. Giver of breath, giver of life, Kai, Hi. Let's read on some more. Where was thou? Where was thee? When I laid the foundations of the earth, declare, if thee hast understanding, who hath laid the measures thereof, if thee know it, or who hath stretched the line upon it, whereupon are the foundations thereof fasting, or who laid the cornerstone thereof, when the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of Yahuwah shouted for joy. Or who shut up the sea with doors? He gave the commands to the seas, rivers, lakes, and streams, the oceans. He gave them a demand. He gave them a command to stay put, to not budge, to not move from this resource, from this body, from this source of water, this area that I'm giving you. You stay right there. And how else can it stay right there but the earth being flat? Stays right where he puts it. It rains until he tells it to stop. It snows, it sleets, it hails until he tells it to stop. At his command. At his demand. He's declaring and decreeing that we have understanding of his making, of his doings, and of his creation of this earth. That's rightfully his. Despite the things that are atop of it, taking up space, occupying space, it still remains his creation. Let's continue. When I made the cloud the garment thereof, and thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors. See, he has boundaries in place. He put the trees where they are. He put the grass where it is. He put the water where it is. He put the animals where they are. The wildlife. The wilderness. The mammals. He put them where they belong. The fowls of the air. And everything else in between that you can name. Gave every single living thing its stomping grounds. On what? A flat earth. Yes. Hallelujah. Rumamu. Rumamu Yahuwah. Rumamu Yahusha. Look at that. Look at that. And break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, hitherto shalt thou come, but no further. Look at that. The water can't even get to us. Why? Because he promised that rainbow would not flood out the earth anymore, any longer, no more. That's the promise of the rainbow. Because Sodom and Gomorrah perished during that flood. The first time, it was a huge, big, grandiose, large flood that flooded the earth out. And there was Nephilims and giants and Neanderthals, fallen angels all caught up in that flood. With a lot of residue and a lot of missing and moving parts and pieces left behind afterwards. A whole array of desolation, of destruction. And then the next time around, he's going to use fire. He's going to utilize fire on what? A flat, you said it, earth. Huh? Yes. 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 Look at that. Has thee commanded thee morning since thy days, and caused the day spring to know its place. The day spring know its time. The equinoxes know its time. The solstices know its time. Just like clockwork. Just like the watch hours. They know its place. That's why every morning when you get up, you hear them hummingbirds, right? You hear them blue jays. You hear them cardinals. Blowing they whistle. Blowing they shofar of a mouthpiece. They be whistling. They be humming and humming. Because the morning has come. And they sing. The birds be so happy and rejoiced and glad that they sing every morning. I know when you roll over in your beds, y'all can hear them sitting atop your rooftops or flying past your window with the chirp, chirp, chirp. And if you stay by a lot of country people, a lot of farm ranch having people, you're going to hear a bunch of cock-a-doodle-doo. With the rooster too, Yeah. Yes. You gonna hear it. You sure are. Especially on a day like this, on a yom like this. Now that spring has come back in. And Passover and unleavened bread and Pesach and all that is coming up. And it's gonna be commenced and celebrated, gathered and assembled, fellowshipped, congregated, communed, whatever you want to say, on a what? Flat earth. On a flat earth. You walked across the street. You can't walk across the street if this earth was round, or you gonna fall off. You gonna be, hanging from a thread. You're going to be diving deep to the abyss, to the Sefer, to the Sefer. You're going to be going down, down, down for the count if this earth was rounded, Yeah. Yes, look at that. That it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it. Look at that. Pop goes the weasel. Look at that. That it might take the hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out. Here today, gone tomorrow. He's going to take some from here a little. He's going to take some from there a little. And not one jot and not one tittle. Until his word gets spread to them four corners of this what? Flat earth. The earth is flat. Not one joke, not one tittle. Nothing is going to come to pass until that happens. Everything within these borders of the four corners of the earth, flat earth, within these borders, within these boundaries, every word of truth holds true, holds steadfast, and holds loyal. He's going to uphold that. He's going to adhere and he's going to comply to that. But what he says is so. It's golden perfection. Mm-hmm. $144K. Look at this. It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment. Look at that. Aren't we clay from the hands of the potter? Right in that garden, on a flat earth, did Yahusha, make Adam, and make Eve, Kahua. From the dust, from the dirt, from the clay. With the seal of approval, with the Yahuwah breath, breathe into their nostrils. Right on a flat ground. Mm-hmm. Sure did. And now we can stand. We stand. And how we stand as a garment, we ought to stand together. I know in these buildings, in these public forums, in these public vicinities, in these public venues, these public stadiums, these public schools, they don't teach this. They don't train on this. They don't coach this. They don't mentor this at all. All they sit there and do is fan out fluff. Puffed up nonsense. Puffed up farces. Puffed up hoax. Puffed up wisdom and understanding. Telling Whoppers more than Burger King. Huh? Telling fibs and telling lies to little boys and girls across the world. Well, Aki Emmanuel Matip is here to tell you that Yahuwah created the earth flat, huh? That's why you can walk on it. Huh? That's why you can run on it. When you have your little field day and you running your little 100-meter dash and you doing all your little festive activities, huh? Yahuwah created a earth that is flat. How else can these amusement parks and these carnivals and these fairs sit upright and stand like a garment? Huh? Or this humble abode that I sit in can sit and stand like a garment. Because Yahuwah already sealed this earth thousands of years ago. Huh? Let's get to it. Let's get right. Yes. Yes. Yahuwah speak to me. Speak through me. Yahusha. Fill me up. This is all examples and samples of Yahuwah's wondrously wonderful works. Yahuwah's strength and wisdom. Yahuwah's power and might. Yahuwah's majestic majesty is what this is. The earth is flat for more reasons than one. They give you a globe when you go through them hallowed halls, whether it be elementary or whether it be middle school, junior high, high school, whether it be a higher institute, a secondary education in college or these universities, submit yourselves to Yahushua's superiority. Surrender yourselves to the outstretched arm, mighty strong hand, to the right arm, Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you will kneel and bow before. You taught wrongly. You've taught incorrectly. You've taught improperly. Now, everything we have learned has to be relearned all over again. Has to be unlearned and relearned. Repentance is key. You went and got a globe and plastered all these areas of the world on it, of this land, of this Aras, of this earth on it, and called it circular. They turned it into a logo. They turned it into an emblem. They turned it into a symbol of paganism, of idolatry in this idolatrous nation, to spread confusion, spread lies, spread chaos and commotion, to spread hate, but call it love. Your movies, your TV shows, your cartoons is a fix. The imagery you love so much is a fix. It's a wash. To keep you blindsided, swindled, duped, and bamboozled as to what you actually standing on, 10 toes down on. If this earth was not flat and it was a circle, we'd fall off, huh? We'll slide off like we're going down the slide. We would slide off like we going down the 20-foot water park slide. We would slide off like it's Sunday fun day around here. The earth is not circular, nor has it ever been. It never will be. Never, ever, 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 ever will it be a circle. The only thing that's moving around and around is the seasons, the days, the weeks, the months, and the years. This earth has not moved once since Yahuwah put it here. It has not shifted once. It's always been flat. It hasn't been anything else other than that. You feeling that? You digging that? Huh? Yeah. Let's go to 2. Let's go to 2 Peter. Let's go to 2 Peter. I'm gonna go over there. Ruach HaKodesh, guide me, aid me, assist me. Let's go over there. 2 Peter chapter 3. Pull in the witness 2. Let's get that in there. Right there, yes. Sit that for a second. There's that. Right. Now, we're going to read a little bit. Verse 5 and 6 says this. For they choose to have this hidden from them. Look at that. Some of y'all will end up being today years old when y'all find out that the earth is flat. Some of y'all was grown up, adult age, by the time y'all found it out that the earth was flat. They don't teach this in the schoolyard. You ain't going to the YMCA and hearing about this. You ain't going to the Boy Scouts of America and hearing about this. You ain't going to Girl Scouts of America to hear about this. They hid the truth when you was going through the joint, when you was going through the motions. Hid it when I was going through the motions. The deception. The Decepticon is real. Look at this. It says that the heavens were of old. Look at that. And the earth standing out of water. Look at that. The earth standing out of water. What do you think that means? When you sitting on your airplane seat and you got a window seat, you can see the earth standing out of the water. And you see the water, what? Sitting on top of the earth. And you ain't see it sway to the right or sway to the left, did you, when you was sitting in that window seat? You seen everything in one compact zone, one compact region, one consolidated border, one consolidated boundary. And it didn't sway. Rather you was riding through the light that rules the day, or when you was riding on it during the light that rules the night. You seen the exact same pattern. It didn't alter, it didn't switch, it didn't change. Look at that. And in the water by the word of Yahuwah, the word of Elohim. Look at that. Through which the world at that time was destroyed, being flooded with water. Now, water at the beck and call of Yahusha can rush through and wash away everything. He can turn water into wine. He can turn water into blood too. He can take the water and make a typhoon. He can make a hurricane. He can make a twisted tornado. He can use the water and do some wreckage if he really wishes and desire to. And the earth won't move or budge one bit while he's doing that. Unless he wants to take that out himself as well. What a word. Look at that. Look at it. and the present heavens and earth are treasured up by the same word. Look, being kept for fire to a day of judgment and destruction of wicked men. Look at that. But beloved ones, let not this one matter be hidden from you, that with Yahuwah 1 day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as 1 day. The earth has never moved into a different shape. It has never moved into a different form. It has never moved into a different size. It has never moved into another matter or manner. In that regard, as it pertains to flat earth, the earth being flat, how else can water just sit there? Water just sits there and it can evaporate, or it just sits there and dries up, or it just sits there to sit. Yahuwah calmed the winds and the water during the storm on the boat. He was asleep. They had to wake him up and ask him to do something about it, because they was afraid and scared and fearful. But look at this though. Let me give you some reassurance. Yahuwah is not slow in regard to the promise, as some count slowness, but is patient towards us, not wishing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Look at that. But the day of Yahuwah shall come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with intense heat, and the earth and the works that are in it shall be burned up. Look at that. So this is describing and explaining how the earth sits, exactly how when we lay flat on our back to go to sleep, that's how the earth is fixated. That's how the earth fixated. We roll over on our side, the earth still fixated to hold us up, hold our body posture up. Whether you sleeping upside down or if you sleep like a helicopter mode, the earth still holding your body posture up. Still sitting in the four corner. In a four corner. A circle don't got no corners. A circle don't have no sides. But a square does. A rectangle does. Yes. Yes. This is a beautiful read indeed. Let me read it in the Witness. Let me read in the Witness too. It says right here. For this, they willingly are ignorant of that by the word of Yahuwah, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. So you can see the earth above the waters, the air, the wind blowing around, the flies, the mosquitoes, the bees, the birds. And if you underwater, you swimming, you see earth underneath the water too. And if it's not so deep and you swim all the way down to the bottom, and you can stand straight up and down in that water. Whether you held your breath that long or if you had an oxygen tank on, you still standing upright like a seal garment. You see how when you put your clothes on, they sit on you and don't budge. It don't budge until you budge. It don't move until you move. Your garments are sealed to you unless you take it off, unless you remove it. And that's how the earth is. He dressed the earth with the birds, the bees, the water, and the trees, with the grass, with the dust, with the dirt. He ain't dress it up with all this stuff we watch and look at and view now. That ain't nothing but entertainment that the evil one, the wicked one brought about. This earth was naked. Wasn't no planes flying around. Wasn't no cars riding around. Wasn't no TVs and wasn't no iPads and cell phones and internet in the ancient of old, in the ancient days. Huh? It wasn't none of that. I'm sure that the huts back then, they built it with their own hands. Mm-hmm. They sure did. Yep. Look at that. Whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. And see, but he's unwilling for any of us to perish. You can bring that upon your own self, but that's self-inflicted. That's self-afflicted. So let's not mope and soak and pout and moan and groan and whine and complain in this season, especially this new season. We do not lack. He's not slack to keep his promises to us, and we should not feel as though we're lacking or slacking. Let's not be slothful and let the days go in this new season, in this new month. Let's agree that what he did is what he did, and it's set in stone. There ain't no reversing it. It's irrevocable. The gift irrevocable, the promise irrevocable. It's yours to keep. Don't forfeit it. Like Esau. Amongst others. Don't pull the Esau. Yeah. But the heavens and the earth, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store. Look at it. Reserved. Look at it. Kept in store. So you got storehouses and granary and barnery, a barnyard. It's like a needle in a haystack. You know how there's bundles of hay for the horses, and then there's pastures of green grass for cows, right? There's a place in store for each of the creations of Yahweh. Hey, the animals know theirs. We ought to know ours. Look at this. Kept in store, reserved until fire against the day of judgment. See, when the day of judgment, day of salvation comes, day of accountability comes, and the perditions of the evil, wicked, sadistic, twisted, and demented, should they remain that way without repentance, without no repentance, then the burning of earth is coming forth. Just like in the Palisades, just like in LA. They was trying to off that fire, they was trying to out that fire. They flying all around with their choppers. Spiritual fire is unquenchable. You can't quench that. This ain't no Sprite commercial. This ain't no Gatorade commercial. Nope. You can't do the do and with the Mountain Dew. You can't quench the thirst with the Gatorade or the Sprite with that spiritual fire. That's the perdition of the worldly men and women. Of the wicked men and women. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with Elohim is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like one day. And like I told you, he made the earth thousands of years ago. And it has not been rearranged since. It's exactly how he put it. It's just got a bunch of distractions and detours and deferments and deters on there now. That's all. Bunch of stumbling blocks that's on it now. Dead ends and roadblocks, speed bumps on it. Hurdles and obstacles to get past and get over. Outside of that, the Elohim is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Elohim will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. He's gonna burn this earth up, merge new heaven, new earth together as one, Akkad, Yakad, and it's gonna be called New Yerushalayim. It says, seeing that then all these things shall be dissolved, and what manner of persons ought ye be in all righteous conversation and righteousness? Looking for and hasten unto the coming of the day of Eluah, day of Yahuwah, all Yahuwah, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, according to promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, where there will dwell righteousness. See that? Wherefore, beloved, seeing that you look for such things, be diligent that you may be found of him in shalom, without spot and without blame. Blameless, my people. We are chosen to know this message, this revelation, this knowledge and wisdom, understanding and overstanding. The love, the ahaba, the power and sound mind and self-control of our Eluah, of our Elohim, the counsel and the equity of Yahuwah, and the fear of Yahuwah must remain and be maintained. He's already sustaining us. So all we got to do is hold the fort down till he gets back. Hold it together. Keep it in the road. Watch our lane. Let's not convey our neighbor. Let's keep these vows. Let's keep the commands. Let's keep the laws and statutes. Let's keep the 10 words and guard them. And let us trust in Yahuwah, Yahusha. Let us wait for Yahuwah, Yahusha. Let us love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Let us love him. We love him because he first loved us. And this has been a highly Baruch and highly favored, candid, and vivid discussion. I enjoy conversing here on this platform, out there in YouTube land. This is something I take great pleasure in, as I've mentioned and stated before. As I said, it's not me. It's not me doing this. This is the works of my Father, your Father, our Father in heaven, Yahuwah, Yahusha. And I just want to thank all those of you out there in YouTube land, to the Atah for listening this far, to the Rabbah for sticking around, hanging in there with me, going on this ride, this journey, this voyage with me, walking in spirit and in truth. And I'm humbled. I'm humbled. This means everything. You know, I don't want to get too mushy, you know, or sensitive and sensual on here, but again, Rosh Kadash to you all. Rosh Kadash Atah. Gadu. Gadu. Barak Shalom, Arak Yom. May all of your crops be prosperous and fruitful, and may you be delighted in what Yahusha does with the things that you're bringing in, the people, person, places, family that you're bringing in this new season. May much more barakas be upon you, be with you, be unto you, be towards you. And may all the praise, honor, worship, and esteem and exaltation go to Yahuwah, Yahusha, as it belongs to him. It is his. And we are his. You are his. I am one. You are one. He says, you are mine. And hopefully you take something, at least one new thing, out of this lesson to keep for yourselves as you continue to face the east and look towards the mountains, mountaintops, mountain peaks, where our help comes from, where our strength comes from. And may he empower you to continue on persistently, consistently in his midst, in his number, in his presence, in the shadow of the wings of the Almighty, Yahuwah, Yahushua HaMashiach. And all that said in his name, with petition, supplication, and thanksgiving, so help me, so shall it be. Let it be so, and so be it. In the name of Yahusha, for his name is great, his name is awesome, his name is amazing. It is Yafa, beautiful. It is filled with grandeur and splendor and allure. And until I get back again on here, till I see you next time, all praise to the Most High, Yahuwah, Most High Abba. Yahusha is the King. Yahusha is King. Shalom, Mishpachah. Shalom.